Tell us about your lab and who you work for.
I work at a lab at Wairarapa Hospital here in Masterton, and we look at everyone's bloods and wees and poos and help tell the doctor what's wrong with them. And I work for a company called SCL.
What types of experiments do you do?
At my work we do experiments on blood to figure out what's wrong with people. We also can use people's wees and tell what people have been taking that they might not have really supposed to be taking, and also experiments to help people.
What is your favourite experiment you have ever done?
Well, at university we got to look at dead frogs and dead rats, and we got to cut them open and look at the insides and all the bits inside them. That was really fun. And we also made explosions at college, and we've done explosions with Mentos mints and Coke. When you mix them together, it all comes out like an explosion.
Tell us about your normal day.
In my normal day, I go to work and I put my lab coat on and I start work on whatever comes in. So if it's blood, if it's wee, poo, any of those things, start looking at them and figuring out what's wrong with them.
Do you make anything?
A mess, yes. I don't really make things. I've made things before when I worked at different places.
How long have you been a scientist?
I have been a scientist 20 years. So when I went to university I studied science, and at college I studied science, and then I've been a scientist since then. Sometimes in labs doing medical stuff for people, and then sometimes in animal research labs.
What training did you get to be a scientist?
So I did all my science at college, and then I went to Massey University and did a Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science, and then I also did further work at Hamilton at Waikato University to do a postgraduate diploma in engineering.
Where in the world do you work?
I work in Masterton, right here.
Have you created an intervention?
No, I haven't created any inventions, but I've helped do some research on new things that people didn't know before, and write articles in magazines about that.
What materials do you use for your science?
My materials I use are lots of chemicals that we use, also anything that comes out of people. So we need to use people's blood, and we spin it down and get the different parts of the blood out to do tests on.
What is your favourite part of science?
My favourite part is discovering things. So doctors use, to figure out what's wrong with people, doctors use greater than 70% of the time, they need to use the results that we give them to figure out what's wrong with people. So it's really good when we can help figure out what's wrong with people and get them feeling better again.
Do you do anything dangerous?
Yeah, all the time. We use fire, we use Bunsen burners and flame, and we also use dangerous chemicals and acids and things like that.
What is the funniest thing that has happened to you as a scientist?
Well, a workmate of mine, one time when they were doing a poo sample, which is someone pooed into a paint tin for 3 days and kept all of their poo in the tin, put the lid on it, sent it to the lab, and then when they started to try and open the lid, it was sort of fizzing and making a noise, and they kept prying off the lid, and it exploded, and all over them covered in poo, all over their lab coat, but also under their lab coat, on their legs and stuff. And they didn't have a car, they had to go, this was in Wellington, they had to go home on the bus in their pooey clothes to get back home so they could have a shower. So the other people in the bus didn't really want to sit next to them because they really stunk.